And our very first story, the opposition National Democratic Congress may have just been handed what could possibly turn out to be the most independent inquisition yet into why the party performed so poorly in the December 2016 general election, even as it sets out to do that by itself. A study conducted by the University of Ghana Political Science Department cited corruption, inability of Vice President Mr. Arthur to match Dr. Bawumia, unclear nature of the party's campaign message as some factors that contributed to the NDC's defeat. The study, titled Post-Election Analysis, sampled the views of Ghanaians across the country. There's more in this report.
Researchers from the department took different aspects of the study as they presented their findings on what led to the outcome of the 2016 elections. Speaking on the methodology, Dr. Isaac Owusu-Mensah explained how about 50 constituencies were selected across the country.
We decided that we will study the constituencies that have limited, or if you want, least voter population. We're giving one more. So Upper East, Upper West, we're giving 3 constituencies. And then the median regions. The median regions are Northern region, Brunafo region, Eastern region, Volta region, Western and Central. They were given 5 constituencies each. And then the constituency, the regions with the highest voter population, that is the Ashanti and Greater Accra, they had 7.
On what influenced the voting pattern, Professor Emmanuel Debra posited majority of those engaged admitted voting largely on party lines.
Another way for us to understand from the model is to ask whether voters have voted for the affiliated party. If you are close to a party, then you wouldn't like the party to lose its establishment, so you continue to vote for the party. So the question is, did you vote for your affiliated party? And we have interesting results. 87 said, yes, I voted for my affiliated party. So if you're NDC, you vote for the NDC. If you're NPP, CPP, you vote for the CPP.
The aspects of the study that looked at the Electoral Commission's work said majority of respondents sampled expressed knowledge about reforms undertaken by the Commission and were certain it made the polls transparent. Dr. Mame Jechi Jando is a lecturer at the department.
As many as 31.4% responded that they did not know about any electoral reforms undertaken by the EC. So we must know that at least more than a majority of respondents knew of some electoral reforms undertaken by the EC.
Presenting the findings on what accounted for the outcome, electoral historian Alex Frimpong blamed the defeat on what interviewees described as impunity on the part of government appointees.
Issues of impunity of government appointees. They had become prophets of who should and others who would never be presidents. You also remember the pressure government appointees put on the president to petition the Montier tray. But the president also has his own slip-ups. Ghanaians have short memories. Ashanti and the Golden Roads. Only former president can debate me. The sleeping Opana on the Western roads, and Opana with distilled chips.
The former president himself was not absolved. Those sampled indicated that the NPP's one district, one factory mantra, among others, caught on much more easily with the electorate than the president's famous Usain Bolt purpose.
I'll put it in simple terms that one district, one factory, one village, one dam, one constituency, 1 million, and one everything proved catchier than the NDs Usain Bolt inspired Noah Ababasa. You remember?
Infrastructure development, a sector widely highlighted by then President Mahama, is believed to have also contributed to his defeat, as nothing else seemed to have been achieved.
Economy was going to be a big issue. NDC over-relied on the unprecedented infrastructural developments. At some stage, they say Mahama had done better than Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. On the other hand, they underestimated the impact of Dumso, the burdens of utilities, and in fact ignore how people were feeling in their pockets.
The department intends to carry out similar studies going forward.
Robust constitutional reform within the police service, as well as an assurance of security of tenure, will help restore the confidence in police personnel to deal with perpetrators of post-election violence. This recommendation forms part of suggestions put out at a forum examining the post-election environment in Ghana, organized by the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center for Democratic Development.
Key among the issues that were widely discussed was the upsurge of vigilantism during the transition period. Unseen political masterminds are believed to be behind the unlawful takeovers of government installations. The very latest is the nationwide protest following the announcement of metropolitan and municipal chief executives. Security analyst Dr. Kwesienin wants the police to crack the whip on individuals who, in the name of registering their displeasure against the president's nominees, go on rampage destroying public properties and threatening the security and peace in the country.
There is something more that we need to understand than just raising our voices and saying we don't like political vigilantism. But political vigilantism in Ghana is also beginning to take on two dynamics, which we are not talking about. Political godfatherism, because if you look at those who are protecting these guys, they are not an ordinary poor academic like myself.
Head of Research and Programs at CDD Ghana, Dr. Franklin Odru, also wants immediate actions taken against such persons.
Well, I think it's very worrying that it has transcended beyond immediate post-election manifestations to the extent that you are having party youth groups, whether they are vigilantes or youth groups or whatever you want to call them, trying to contest decision of the president. I think it suggests the undermining of the authority of the president, who the Constitution has given a mandate to appoint DCEs. I think what we are witnessing also is an indication of the failure of the security agencies and even the party itself to condemn some of these acts when they started immediately following the elections.
Director of Transformation at the Ghana Police Service, Chief Superintendent Dr. Benjamin Agozo, on his part explained why it is almost difficult for the police to take action against perpetrators of such actions. He attributed their helplessness to interference and influence from unseen political figures.
I mean that because police have not been able to arrest them, apart from those Delta Force people who did that dastardly act and were arrested. Remember, when the president asked that they should all be arrested, police made some arrests. How many have you heard being sent to court? Unseen hands are always working with the police. And this is oversight responsibility. And unless you change the Constitution, unless you do something about that thing, people will not be emboldened. That's the fact of it. That until we change or do something about this constitutional arrangement to embolden the police to act independently, we are only just scratching the surface.
The forum also stressed the need for regulations for the management of an asset register to address confusion during transition. For Joy News, Matilda Pomaga, Accra.
Now, Ghana should have another thermal power plant by December this year to augment the country's energy needs in the face of growing demand for electricity. Officials say the 400 megawatts plant to be fueled with LPG will be the biggest of its kind in the world. Lead contributor to the project, Endeavour Energy, says the plant upon completion will be amongst the country's cheapest thermal electricity sources.
The project is designed to deliver first power by the end of the year or shortly thereafter, but is priced to deliver returns to investor over the long term, not short term as in the case of most emergency power projects, and only as long as we, the consortium, do our part by providing reliable power when needed. The plant is designed to deliver power flexibly and efficiently, as it will be capable of being fueled by liquid petroleum gas, natural gas, or diesel. This means operations will not be affected by the uncertainty of rainfall levels or disruption to gas supply. In addition, the plant can be started and stopped and then restarted all within 1 hour. This will allow ECG to more efficiently supply power to match actual power demands in Ghana throughout the day. And third, Bridge Power will leave a legacy of LPG infrastructure for the Tema Oil Refinery that will allow Ghana to import 3 times more LPG each year than it currently does, increasing the potential supply of LPG for industrial and residential use while diversifying Ghana's energy supply and making Ghana more energy secure. Now, they say once you come to Ghana, you don't want to leave. This is happening to us as we are now invested in the Mondi Power Project in the Western region. Between the 2 projects, Endeavor Energy will be involved in bringing over $1.5 billion of foreign direct investment to Ghana and investing over $225 million of our own capital in Ghana.
Cutting sought for the construction of the $935 million plant, President Akufo-Addo says the interest of the country will be paramount in negotiating power purchase agreements with the private sector. He added the country is mindful of the challenges it endured during the recent energy crisis and has committed itself to ensure the crisis does not recur.
For the past 5 years, our experiences with power supply have been traumatic. All aspects of our lives have been affected. The economy has been damaged, businesses have been destroyed, individual and family lives have been put under severe stress, and our self-confidence has been dented. Yes, in true Ghanaian style, we have tried to make light of a deadly serious and depressing situation with jokes. But we all know that this is not an experience when we want to continue an extra day. I am certain all Ghanaians are agreed that never again should we allow ourselves to get into a similar situation. As your president, I know that the problem of power supply is at the top of the list of problems that must be solved. I'm here this afternoon because this project is consistent with our vision to make our country self-sufficient in electricity for industrial and domestic use, to drive the socio-economic development of our country.
The U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, meanwhile, is confident the final decision on the concessionaire to manage ECG under the Compact 2 of the Millennium Challenge account will help the country address its power needs. It says the compact funding as well as new investment by the concessionaire is expected to inject over $1 billion into the power sector.
The Export-Import Bank of the United States funded the $350 million self-help electrification program, which electrified more than 2,000 rural communities in Ghana. And on top of these investments, the Millennium Challenge Corporation's Power Compact will further strengthen the long-term health of the sector. The $498 million grant is the largest U.S. government investment to date under Power Africa and the Partnership for Growth. The concessionaire that will soon be chosen by the government of Ghana will be required to invest another $500 million over the first 5 years of the concession. That's $1 billion going toward returning ECG and the other power companies to efficiency and profitability.
You're watching Join Us when we're taking a break, but still to come, there's been further protests over Wednesday's MDCE announcement, with most of the agitations targeted at female nominees. We'll have that when we come back from the break. Parliament's Public Accounts Committee is raising questions over the auctioning of vehicles belonging to the Ghana Health Service, in some instances for as low as 350 cedis. It's unclear the state of these vehicles, but the MPs are demanding a tightening of the auctioneering process to protect the public purse. It also emerged the auctioneer has not paid portions of the amounts realized from the sale to government, and the police have been notified. The Auditor General, in his reports covering 2011 to 2013, concluded the auctioneering process was unfair and non-transparent. Listen to MPs interacting with the health service officials.
Director General, This time, the item sold, one of the vehicles sold by the same Jonak Map, not to the staff, but to a member of the general public, at 350. Mitsubishi ambulance. 350 Ghana cedis. Mitsubishi ambulance. Ghana cedis. Yes. 350 Ghana cedis. Mitsubishi ambulance.
Maybe we'll find out, were there tires under the ambulance?
Yeah.
Were there 4 tires under the ambulance or 6 tires?
Mr. Chairman, I haven't finished. Chairman, I haven't finished. Director General, in fact, I also want to put it on record that for the audit that was conducted by the Auditor General, Shaltamat, who conducted the auction and realized 44,125 Ghana cedis, wouldn't have paid even a penny. After the audit, he made a first payment of 2,000, followed up with 250, and then 2,000 later. So in all, as we stand now, he has paid 9,500, leaving a balance of over 34,000, and he has not paid since. The first letter to him, which compelled him to pay the first payment, was 8 months after the auction. After the audit, 8 months, then you save him the reminder to pay. So if you didn't have the audit, the money would have gone down the drain. I don't know what response you give to this.
Honorable Chair, I can't answer for Sheltermat. What we have done is that we have reported the case to the law enforcement agency, and I cannot say he will pay or he will not pay. I have the belief in the law enforcement agencies, and I think the matter is... So when he comes, maybe if he's invited here, then he may be able to tell us whether he was going to pay the money or not, because that's the only thing we can do. We cannot go ahead and then arrest him.
Well, if we're able to invite the auctioneer, we will get those responses from him.
In another instance, an amount of 53,000 cedis realized from the auction 4 years ago was supposed to have been paid to the non-tax revenue account, but was not done. It turned out it was paid by the Ghana Health Service only this week. But the MPs say this is irregular.
Now, let me put it to the Director General. The Auditor General gave you 30 days to respond to the query. It took you 60 days. More than 60 days. And you come back and give us a letter like this, faulting the Auditor General for the queries that they raised. You had all this while. Mr. Chairman, if you look at the response that the Ghana Health Service brought, I see the attachments. Now, they've attached a receipt from the Bank of Ghana, a pay-in slip, dated 24th April 2017. That was yesterday. Monday. That was Monday. So you have had all this while. You haven't had the courtesy of respecting the procedures. And then you come back, because you are appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, hurriedly go to pay in, and then write a letter like that, justifying your actions. Chairman, I would like to find out from him. You claim the members of staff got the vehicles as citizens. How many members of staff benefited from the auction, and how many members of the public benefited from that auction?
I didn't claim members of staff got the vehicles as a citizen.
That's your letter.
No, I'm coming, please. What I'm saying is that even if they got it, they are also citizens of the country. That's what was said. I didn't say that so they are not spectators. So I didn't say that they got this vehicle. But the other question about why the money was paid late and this thing, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the fact still remains that I'm new in the place. I just came in this.
That would not be accepted.
That's why I brought some of my directors here.
Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Kluchaveji, says that committees the committee has already made some strides with its work.
About 61,800 Ghana cedis was paid by the Ghana Health Service to the non-tax revenue accounts of the Bank of Ghana or for government. This is because for the fact that the Public Accounts Committee invited the Ghana Health Service to appear before the committee to respond issues on the disposal or auction of government vehicles. They were keeping that money in their accounts. For the fact that we have invited them, they quickly mobilized money and went and paid the money to government. So this is one of the success stories that we've been saying, that Ghanaians don't know what has been the success story of the Public Accounts Committee's public hearing.
Aren't you baffled that they sold some of the vehicles for as low as 350 Ghana cedis?
Well, if you listen to them or you look at the amount, it's so interesting, but a vehicle could be sold at 350. And the question one will ask is that, do the vehicles even have tires under them? If tires are under the vehicle, the tires alone could cost more than 350. But because we always base those issues on the work of our state institutions, because a technical committee or body of survey was set up to evaluate and then value the vehicles. And then after that, the state valuer, which is a state transport corporation, also came in and then valued the vehicles before the auctioneers sold them. So if we should believe the work of these state institutions, then we will say that the values are fair. But we do not have pictures of the state of the vehicles, so we take them as they are.
Isn't this information that at least you should have had, you know, as members of the PAC, so that you can come to very good judgment?
No, there was no way that we could gather information because, one, the auctions were done far back in 2014.
Construction work on the military hospital project at Afari in the Ashanti region is set to slow down due to government's new import policy. Contractors explain duty exemptions granted by the previous government has been revoked by the present administration. Administrator of the Eurojet Group, executors of the project, Baba Anaba, says the company is now required to pay upfront and later get refund. He made the revelation during an inspection visit to the project site by Deputy Minister for Defence, Major Derek Kudru. Nane Aljima reports.
Mr. Anaba says the revocation of the tax exemption is causing unnecessary delay in the work. He is, however, optimistic the company will meet the revised completion schedule of February 2018 instead of late 2017. This has been caused by encroachment challenges which lasted for over 5 months. The 500-bed facility on 141 acres of land on completion is expected to ease congestion at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Mr. Anaba says restoration of the import duty exemption, conditions of which the company has fulfilled, would speed up work.
New directive now that we should pay for the imported goods and then come for a refund. This contract was signed based on, and the tax exemption was based on condition. It was a condition precedent. We did not get the tax exemption until December 2016, even though the contract was signed in December 2008. So there are challenges not coming from EDI. EDI meaning Eurojet, the invest. You know, as we speak now, we have 10 containers at the port. 10 containers waiting at the port to be cleared. But now, because of this new directive,
resident engineer Islam Shawari reinforces the resolve to work within schedule.
Problems give us some delays and the encroachment of the land and the redesigning of some buildings in the project. This all give us delays, but we are trying to overcome the delays and make a crash program to overcome this delay. We are doing our best, we are working hard, we just are praying to not have any unexpected problems. It may change this date. We are doing all our best.
Major Derek Odro assured of government's commitment to the project.
Make sure that whatever you need to complete this project will be provided. Forget about the tax problem. Encroachment has been completed. The encroachment problem has been dealt with already. whether it's the problem of payment of whatever certificate that you have, we are going to handle all those problems, and then you have your peace and complete once you are eager to complete the project for us.
Nana Yaujima reporting.
You're watching Joy News Prime. Still to come in the bulletin, the Convention People's Party is out to dispel the notion that it is a party of old people by flaunting some of its young and vibrant members.
People used to say that CPP is an old man's party. When you came here, how many old people did you see? Look at the young and vibrant ones. And look at them.
We'll be back with business later on. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. There have been further protests around the country over the appointment of new municipal and district chief executives. Thursday's protests in South Daye in the Volta region and Tolong in the northern region come on the back of similar agitation at Zebela, Savelugu, Nalerugu, Sandema and other parts of the country. It is meanwhile emerging the protests have been mainly against the female appointees. Of the 10 or the 11 agitating districts, 8 are said to be headed by women. Peter McMenu, who was involved in the selection, explains there was a deliberate effort to ensure fair representation of women in local governance. But some of the women nominated are facing opposition from supporters of the... Let's listen to Peter McMenu first.
And has promised to get 30% females in his administration. Somewhere along the line, it became difficult. So a huge task hunting for women was undertaken. I believe that the people might have sensed that the lady did not, as it were, perform or contribute or supported the party machinery at that level. That's why the party people were annoyed.
But they could be right, because from what you've explained, the woman, I mean, just government or the president is seeking to make up for the female quota that you gave yourself, and that's why you're involved.
Which is necessary.
So it's possible that she may not have been very active or done enough for the party.
But there are so many ways of going about it without overtly being violent. The president is a listening person. That's why he made all these extensive consultations.
But some of the women nominated are facing opposition from supporters of the governing New Patriotic Party in their districts. In the South Daye district, the supporters are made it clear they have a problem with the gender of Ella Boateng and want her removed.
And choosing Ella Boateng is a clear signal that there will not be any existence of NPP in South Daye henceforth. We employ the national security, the presidency, to investigate the circumstances surrounding the commission, the omission of Mr. Ernest Patrick Mallet's name at the regional level and change it with Ella Boateng's name, which is very criminal. The fortunes of the NPP began to dwindle in 2008 when the said Philippe Odati imposed a loyal NDC Bernard Dose on us as a parliamentary candidate. NPP will further go down if Philippe Odati is in. We will not in any way accept any infiltrated member from the NDC or allow anybody to use his or her body interest in terms of sexual desire to attain the highest position in the district. We therefore give the presidency 24-hour ultimatum to change the name of Ella Boateng and replace it with Mr. Ernest Patrick Mallet.
Well, Ella Boateng joins us on the line with a reaction to the agitations against her. Good evening to you, and thank you for making time on Joy News Prime.
Yeah.
Now, what has been your reaction to the protests that have greeted your nomination, especially considering some of the arguments against you border on your private life?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. In fact, I don't know what is their challenge, because all this has been an earlier complaint, but after going through the vetting process, I was investigated thoroughly by the BNI and then a team from the national level. So if after all that have been nominated, then I don't know what they are talking about. I've been an active member of the party for the past 10 years, paid my dues regularly, and been part of their ceremonies, attend all their functions. When anytime the president is around, I feed him and his entourage on about 2 or 3 occasions. And they knew about all these things. I pre-finance some of their activities when the money from the national level is not coming. So it's a sad story, but I'm not deterred.
All right,
I'm determined to work for.
Yes, if you say that you've been doing all this in the party, how come they are saying all that about you now?
And that is what I'm saying, that they made these complaints earlier, and it was investigated before the nomination came.
Which of the complaints? Which of the complaints are you saying were investigated by the BNI? I'm interested.
The whole of this that they have come out with again. The whole of what they are saying today. The only one that is new is that I was popping champagne in my house this morning. I'm in a neighborhood, a very rural neighborhood. So when I am around this morning, my immediate neighbors came to say hello to me. So there was nothing of that nature. And, excuse me, the Volta region is an NDC stronghold. So if people come to my house and they assume to be NDCs, I don't see their challenge. I don't see their complaint. So
okay, but is it true that you welcome some NDC people into your home?
No, that's what I'm saying, that my neighbors just came to say hello to me this morning. They are not NDC on what? I can't brand them as NDC members. They are my neighbors. They came to say hello to me. My neighbors, my immediate neighbors. I live in a common rural environment. So my immediate neighbors. Please say, how can I welcome NDC people to my home? So it can be investigated by the BNI. So it's a lie. They are telling lies about me.
No, some of the things they actually talked about border on your private life. I don't know if you care to respond to some of those.
Yeah, as for that one, in fact, there's nothing. They made these complaints, and it was rebuffed. As a woman, I have to be in a relationship. So I don't see anything wrong with my being in a relationship with somebody of that caliber. So there's nothing wrong. We've been together for a long time now. So excuse me, if I can be spared of that aspect. Because they made...
That's fair.
They made all this. You say?
That's fair. You don't have to go into that. Now, how do you plan to reconcile with these supporters who you may have to work with during your tenure as DCE?
Thank you very much. As for those things, I've discussed it with the district commander, and he has advised me to take some few steps, starting from the regional level right to the constituency level. There are few of them. There are other members who are on my side fully, the Council of Elders and few of other executives. So I wouldn't have a challenge. If the dust settles, I'll quickly organize some few supporters with good opinion leaders, and we'll go to them.
Now, so, do you feel that you're being unfairly targeted simply because you're a woman?
Yes. That's what I'm feeling. But I'm not deterred. I'm not deterred at all. I know I can overcome this. It's a storm, and it will calm down soon.
All right, thank you very much, Ella Boateng, who's the nominee, District Chief Executive nominee for South Dai in the Volta region. Now, there are other women who have been, essentially, the agitations have been targeted towards them. We look at, we go to Mary, we go to the Brong-Ahafo region, where Mary Akone in Banda is one of those whose nomination is being challenged. And then there's Justina Marigold Asan in Agona West District in the Central region. In the Northern region, we have Hajia Aisha Tuseidu of Savalugu Nantong, Hajia Anama Saibu of Tolong, and Mariama Idrisu of Sanarugu, and they are also facing resistance. In the Boku West District of the Upper East Region, Victoria Ayamba is facing fierce resistance from some NPP youth who took to the streets and burned ties in protest of a nomination. The nomination of Martha Kweyi Menu as DCE of Jabiso in the Western Region is also being challenged. Meanwhile, a joint police and military operation has now been introduced at Zebula and the Boku West District of the Upper East Region to ensure peace in the area following the riots of Tuesday night that went into Wednesday by youth in the area who were protesting the nomination of Victoria Ayamba as DCE for the area. Police say that patrols will stay in the area until after the DCE's confirmation and to also ensure that everything is back to normal. In another development, some youth of the Boku West District, including some NPP executives, have declared their support for the DC nominee for the area, Victoria Ayamba, at a news conference held at Zebula Thursday. The group said Victoria Ayamba has a credible record in the NPP and therefore deserves the nomination. Assam Alebna addressed the news conference.
That occurred in Zebula on Tuesday, the 25th of April 2017. It is regrettable, it is unfortunate, and indeed it is barbaric and should not have happened in this 21st century and in a democratic government like ours. We view it as an affront to democracy and must be condemned by all. We wish to state in an unequivocal terms that they are just a handful of people and their action does not and cannot represent the masses at the grassroots. Having said all this, we are overwhelmed with joy for the announcement of Ms. Victoria Ayamba as the District Chief Executive nominee of Boku West District. This appointment is not only a clear demonstration of the President's commitment to mainstream gender equality in his government, but also it is an honor to women, queen mothers, children, and youth in general.
Now, the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, has lauded the latest clampdown against illegal mining by governments, as well as the media, as well as the campaign by the media. He says the scale of destruction to the environment and pollution of the country's water bodies requires that the battle against the illicit trade is sustained. Ambassador Robert Porter Jackson was speaking to correspondent Nestor Kafuya-Joma at Techiman during a 3-day monitoring visit to the Bunahafo region.
The Robert Porter Jackson was in the Bunahafo region to learn at first hand the progress of work on the various projects being supported and financed by the American government through U.S. aid. He noted that the Bunahafo region needed to tap into several other potentials available aside illegal mining.
I think Bunahafo shows what can be done. There are plenty of opportunities besides illegal mining, and I want to highlight some of those opportunities. But I also want to understand the challenges, the environmental challenges, why people are turning to Galamsey, why people are deforesting areas, and to leave here with a better sense of what the opportunities are. U.S. aid's investments, whether in midwifery or agriculture or health, can only have an impact if we understand the environment.
He pledged the American government will continue to help Ghana to stop mining in water bodies.
We have been doing for some time and will continue to do is monitor water quality. So we have projects in Ghana to monitor both air and water quality. Galamsey is having a huge impact on water quality, and through our water quality improvement efforts, we are trying to help get a handle on this problem.
Ambassador Robert Porter Jackson visited Holy Family Nursing and Midwifery Training College at Techiman to observe students perform manual removal of the placenta on training models. This is one of the 27 USAID-supported skills labs that enabled nursing and midwifery students gain hands-on experience before becoming medical practitioners. The next port of call was Sahel Grains near Techiman, where the ambassador was taken through all 10 production stages of the maize and cassava processing factory. Sahel Grains is benefiting from USAID's 3-year $1.9 million public-private partnership to provide an end-to-end farm-to-fork model with multiple market linkages for smallholder farmers in the Brunafo region.
I think it's important as a taxpayer and as the U.S. ambassador here for me to be sure that our investments are making a difference and what we might adjust going forward. But I also feel that this is a voyage of discovery, that if I understand this part of Ghana better, we can tailor our programs to have more impact.
Nesta Kafuya Jomes report.
The Volta Region branch of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is pleading with its customers to settle bills owed the power distribution company to ensure proficiency in service delivery. At the stakeholders' engagement in Ho, Regional General Manager Joseph Mensah-Forsing disclosed that the debt of ministries and district assemblies constitutes 75% of what is owed ECG in the region as of March 30, 2017. He said the ECG is open to negotiations with its high-value customers so they could work out flexible payment terms. Fred Kwame Osari's report.
The stakeholders' engagement was to get clients of ECG abreast with operations of the power distribution company and receive input from clients to enhance service delivery. The regional manager, Joseph Mensah-Forsing, addressing the stakeholders, assured that though ECG is facing some system challenges, management is committed to efficient delivery. He, however, lamented on the poor payment culture of some ministries, departments and agencies and disputed excuse that such institutions are unable to pay their utility bills because central government delays in disbursing subventions.
The government once upon a time made an announcement concerning the NDA payments. They said they are going to take care of your NDA payments up to 2014. And believe you me, management, I'm talking about management and at head office, we are in contact with the NDAs as far as that debt is concerned. So the picture of that debt in 2014 is not the same today. They are working on the 2014. But they also gave us assurance that moving forward from 2015, we are now in 2017. So moving forward, the NDAs will be well equipped, well organized, to ensure that they actually pay for their services. That is what they told us. In fact, some of the NDAs are doing well in terms of trying to use their IGF. They made me to even understand what is IGF, because I don't have IGF, but once we were engaging them, they said, oh, there's something we call IGF. So when I asked, they said internally generated funds.
As part of interventions to boost power supply in the Volta region, he mentioned the installation of new bulk supply stations, introduction of automatic meter reading technology, purchasing of machinery for works on live line on overhead networks, overhead fault indicators, among other modern technologies.
We need to improve on this reliability. So there are some modern technologies that we are adopting, and we are looking for more just to help us, become a good distribution company. The first one is we now.
The Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Broja Jemfi, has petitioned the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, RAJ, to investigate allegations of conflict of interests over the Finance Minister's issuance of a $2.25 billion government bond. He says his action demanding further probe was motivated not only by the Finance Minister's silence But the failure of the ministry to issue an official response to address the allegations of conflict of interest. Boja Jemfi wants Strach to evaluate the matter vis-a-vis the Commission's guidelines on conflict of interest.
That pushed me to take the matter up with Strach, because that response from the ministry did not deal with the conflict of interest situation. You can go back and read the statement again. It was silent on the conflict of interest situation. When there are issues of conflict of interest, the person involved must speak. There should have been a disclosure of interest for the people of Ghana to know that the transaction that is going to take place, what is the interest of the finance minister, because the finance minister knew that a company that could be linked to him, in fact, the director of the company that could be linked to him, had been participating in our bonds for the last 11 years or so. And so I want Strach to come up for everybody to know that was there a conflict of interest situation? What is the relationship between Trevgan and Franklin Templeton Investment Limited?
Now, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah would have been 108 years old if he was alive. But 45 years ago this day, the first president of Ghana died in Guinea of skin cancer. Commemorating his death, the Convention People's Party laid wreaths at his tomb at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum and then did something significant in honor of his memory. Anodami has the story.
As part of celebrating the 45th anniversary of the death of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the CPP have decided to do something significant, and that is to centralize its database system. And I have with me Yerimambo, who is the Greater Accra Regional Youth Organizer, to explain further why they decided to do this. Now, welcome to join.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So let's start. We're going to register my cameraman. He is Joel Nanaudro. Okay. And so let's start. He's
so Joel. So we start by getting his name.
Exactly.
So Joel Nana Odro. So of course he's male.
He's a male.
Yes.
His date of birth is
20. What's the date of birth?
21st August 1989.
Okay, 1989.
No, you type it too many times.
Okay, yeah, so automatically the age should pop up.
Sure.
Yeah, so if it's 27 years, of course, the age should pop up. Then we go to the year he joined the party. So, of course, if it's today he's joined the party, today is 27th. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. His occupation,
he's a broadcast journalist.
Of course, broadcast journalist. Then we go to the ID, very essential information. Yeah.
Okay, you don't have.
Okay, so Joel Nana Odro is in the system now. So I can come back and edit this at any given time. If it gives me additional information, his street name, his email address, everything, I can just come back to edit. So as far as it's in the database system, I can decide to just print it out here because we'll be issuing cards to them. So from here, we print it out, we laminate, and we issue your ID card.
New cards?
New cards.
As a result of this new system.
We are going to start all over from region, from the regional level, constituency to the polling station level. We're going to issue new cards to all CPP members and all those who want to join the party.
So the CPP has those new innovation. Yeah. To them is expected to at least be one of the things that will help beat the other parties in 2020. And so from the CPP's new database center, my name is Hannah Odami for Joy News.
Now, I'm sure you've heard the notion that the majority of the membership of the CPP are aged. Well, the party's chairman, Professor Edmund Daly, is dispelling this notion. He tells Joy News the CPP is registering more youths, as they just did for Joel, and urged more young persons to join the party.
People used to say that CPP is an old man's party. When you came here, how many old people did you see? Look at the young and vibrant ones. And look at them. And we are preparing actually to lead our way, to make sure that CPP takes over the control of this party again. 2020 election campaign has started now. Yes. We are not going to wait till 2 weeks or 2 months to time. We have started now. And we are a grassroots party. And the other parties have learned from us. So we are the champions of mass movements in Ghana. And we are reviving that one. So there is a wind of change in the world. That those parties which are supposed to be small parties are taking over the world. Is that not true?
It's true.
Go around. Now in France even, you go to the Gambia, You go to Nigeria. This is the turn of Ghana. The sea people should take over again. All increments, wherever you are, come and join us.
All right, thank you too for watching. My name is Ozela. You have a good evening.
This is Joy News Prime.